So this guy, Arkansas, wakes up and finds himself inside the game he was playing the night before. At first, he's like, no way this is real. But when he looks down and sees the cloak, the sword, and the armor he's wearing, it hits him. Yep, he's inside the game. And he's not just anyone. He's the Royal Knight, the same character he always played. Naturally, he wants to test things out. He swings his sword once and slices a tree clean in half. Then he tries fire magic, and yep, it works. That's when it really sinks in. This isn't a dream. He's actually in the game. A little while later, he starts feeling hungry and thirsty, so he heads toward the city. While walking across a lake, yes, walking on air, he stops at a spring and decides to take off his helmet for a drink. But then, he sees his reflection and gets the shock of his life. He's a skeleton, like full-on undead. Now he's thinking, if I go to town looking like this, they'll probably freak out. So he decides to hide his identity and keep it low-key. He doesn't waste time overthinking it, just heads into the forest and hunts down a couple of boars. Right as he's about to leave, this giant orc appears out of nowhere, but Ark takes it down with one strike. Easy. He collects the loot, thinking he'll sell it later. But then he stumbles across a scene, a group of bandits attacking and killing some guards. He hesitates, thinking, should I help? I don't want to kill humans. But wait, one of those bandits is my friend. Just when things get intense, a warrior named Dylan shows up and wipes out 3 enemies in a single blow. The rest try to run, but it's too late. Ark finishes them off in one strike. He checks on the 2 girls they were attacking. Turns out, one of them's a princess and the other is her maid. After making sure they're okay, he burns the bodies of the fallen because, well, respect for the dead. Then, broke as ever, he gathers up the loot and heads to the castle with the girls. Once there, he sells the loot at the Adventurers Guild and registers as member. With some money finally in hand, he goes to eat. But here's the weird part. He's literally a skeleton. How does a skeleton even eat? I mean, someone explain that in the comments. The next day, he accepts a new quest from the guild. Pretty chill, just babysitting a little girl named Margot while she gathers herbs. They head deep into the forest, and suddenly Ark senses something nearby. He checks it out and finds a tiny injured fox. He heals it and gets genuinely happy that his magic actually helps someone. He even names the fox Pambo. Cute, right? Back with Margot, we see that the villagers are getting nervous. Weird monsters have been spotted near the forest, and her mom is starting to panic. But the others reassure her Margot's with a holy knight, so she'll be fine. Eventually, Ark and Margot reach a special tree, one that her father used to take her to before he passed away. It's a sweet moment, but then, bam, a massive monster jumps out and attacks her. Ark steps in just in time to protect her. While fighting, he starts analyzing the monster's abilities. First, it has toxic breath, deadly stuff. Second, super sharp claws. Third, its tongue is insanely strong. It can snap a tree with one hit. Oh, and it can also use telekinesis. But thanks to Ark's armor, he manages to block most of the attacks. After dodging and defending, Ark finally sees an opening, distracts the beast, and slices it in half. He's pumped. It's the first real monster he's beaten since arriving in this world. But then he notices a strange bracelet on its leg, and just as he's about to inspect it, it disappears. No time to relax though. Another boar shows up. Ark's like, perfect timing, and takes it down, then brings it back to the village to celebrate. As the sun sets, he says goodbye to everyone. Meanwhile, we cut to a group of royal guards who've been fighting the exact same monster Ark defeated earlier. They barely managed to kill it, but once again, that strange bracelet vanishes. Apparently, before dying, the monster had already killed 18 guards and injured 38 more. Brutal. On their way back, the captain sees the remains of the one Ark killed and says, who on earth could have taken down something like this in one hit? Then we shift to an older man who seems to be some sort of mentor figure. He's eating like it's his last meal, then suddenly decides to head into a nearby cave. Turns out, he's hunting bandits. When he finds them, he gives them 2 options, surrender or get wrecked. They choose the second one. Big mistake. After dealing with the bandits, he finds their hidden treasure and plans to take it. But then he notices cages nearby, and that's when it clicks. They were enslaving people. Outside the cave, we meet a new character, an elf girl. She's furious. She says, we elves are stronger than humans, so how come we're the ones being enslaved? She's determined to become stronger than any human alive. When Ark steps out of the cave, she immediately attacks him, but he blocks her easily. Then he realizes this is the same elf he saw earlier at the guild. She keeps attacking, accusing him of capturing elves and selling them in slave auctions. Ark tries to explain, you've got it all wrong, but she doesn't believe him. Just when she's about to strike, her spirit beast appears. That's when she stops, because there's no way a spirit beast would bond with an evil person. She realizes realizes Ark isn't some bandit after all, just an adventurer. He tells her what really happened. He found cages in the cave and assumed people were being trafficked. She gets it, but still refuses his help. She says she doesn't need anything from a human and walks away. Ark watches her go, kinda torn. He's like, should I help her? I mean, she's cute. Then he goes off to eat again, even though, reminder, he doesn't even have a stomach. The next day, we see Ark walking on air again, making his way into a forest. Based on the records he got from the guild, this is supposed to be where the elves live. Sure enough, he starts to sense something. So does Pambo. Cut to one of the elves. She's running from slave traders, but she doesn't make it far. They catch up to her, and this psycho named Nana stabs her in the leg before locking her up with 3 others. Ark watches the whole thing go down. He wants to step in, but he remembers what the elf girl told him earlier. Don't interfere in elven matters. Still, what he's seeing is too much, and he's about to move when suddenly, boom, she shows up. In the blink of an eye, she drops the first 2 traders and says, I finally found you. They laugh at her, thinking she's just one elf, but they seriously miscalculated. In seconds, she tears through one guy's armor like it's paper, and the rest barely get a chance to react before she drops them too. But then the slave trader's leader steps in. He grabs one of the captured elves and says, take one more step and I'll kill them. She's forced to stop. Just when things look bad, Ark jumps in and punches the psycho to the ground. She handles the rest of the thugs, and together they free the prisoners and escort them back to the elf village. The elf girl is impressed. She asks Ark how he's able to use instant teleportation and healing magic. Who are you, really? But Ark just says, I'm nobody special. She finally introduces herself. Her name is Ariane Glennis Maple. Then she asks if he'd help her with something. He agrees right away. She tells him they need to get to the city of Dianto. Ark's like, oh, I know that place, grab my hand. She takes his hand, and just like that, he teleports them there. She's in complete shock. Not only did he teleport them by himself, he didn't even need a magic circle. But she doesn't overthink it, probably because she knows it'll give her a headache. Once they're in town, they go to a bar where they meet another elf named Dylan, who's supposed to help them with information. Ariane introduces Ark, explaining that he saved 4 elves, and that she personally asked for his help. Dylan sees Pambo and immediately relaxes. Anyone with a spirit beast like that must be a good guy. They ask where the next group of captured elves is being held, and Dylan tells them it's in the entertainment district. They plan to attack that night. When night falls, they move in, but the area is crawling with guards. To avoid making a scene, they use teleportation to sneak inside. But something's off. All the guards are already dead, and not for long. Someone else clearly got here before them. Ark checks one of the rooms and finds more dead guards, and suddenly he gets attacked. But thanks to his armor, he's totally fine. He looks closer and realizes the one attacking him is a ninja from the cat tribe. She keeps striking, but when she sees Pambo, she stops immediately. Anyone with a spirit beast can't be evil. She tells Ark, you're here to rescue the elves, right? Take this map, it'll help. Oh, and don't forget there are 2 more being held by the governor. She disappears, and Ark and the others open the map. They find out 4 elves are being held in the basement. They make their way down fast. Ariane handles the guards while Ark breaks out the prisoners and teleports everyone safely out of the city. Once they're outside, Ark notices magical collars draining the elves' energy. He rips them off right away. He hates this kind of stuff. Dylan is left speechless. The kids thank Ark and beg him to save the other 2 still being held. He promises them he will. Now they head straight to the royal palace. Inside, there's this creepy noble who's got 2 elves tied up, and it's obvious he's planning something twisted. Ark and the team sneak in, and although the guards spot them, Ark doesn't hurt anyone. He just disables them. Finally, they reach the noble. Ark's like, sorry we showed up late, but your little party's over. The guy tries to act tough, but Ariane knocks him out cold with one punch. One of the slave traders Ark fought earlier is also there, trying to sneak out. Ark catches him and is like, going somewhere? The guy faints on the spot. Ark accidentally breaks a wall and finds a hidden stash of treasure. He's like, guess I'll take that. Meanwhile, Ariane frees the 2 captured elves and leaves them alone with the noble so they can get their revenge. Let's just say he gets what he deserves. Royal guards arrive, but Ariane quickly takes them out. Meanwhile, Ark's still looting gold like he's grocery shopping. Afterward, he and Ariane teleport out of the palace. She thanks him and asks what he plans to do next. Ark says he's not really sure, so she invites him to the elven village. He's unsure if he'll be welcome, but she promises they'll let him in. You saved their people. After all, Ark agrees to go, but before they leave, he tells her he has to show her something. He removes his helmet and reveals that he's actually a skeleton. She's surprised, of course. What happened to you? Ark tells her he just went to sleep one night and woke up like this. Some kind of curse. Maybe. He doesn't mention that he's from another world. Ariane reaches out her hand and says, I'm Ariane of the elven race. I swear I won't harm you. Ark replies, I'm Ark, and I'll help you whenever you need me. The next day, we're in the royal capital. The king is talking to his children about what happened the night before with the slave slave traders. The first prince claims he knows nothing about it, but there are rumors the elves freed themselves. The king points out that Prince Diento, the same one running the city, is the one behind the slave trade. The second prince doesn't believe his brother's story, but the king says, "I believe you, Prince 1. Of course, he's all smiles now. Then the king turns to the princess and asks what she thinks. She says she doesn't know, but they shouldn't provoke the elves. The king tells them all to leave. Prince 1 is happy. Prince 2 is annoyed. The princess? She's furious. She knows Prince 1 is the real mastermind behind everything. She decides to visit the elven village herself. Back with Ark and Ariane, they finally arrive. Ark is amazed when he sees the elven settlement for the first time. It's beautiful. Ariane walks up to the gate and announces herself. "I'm Ariane Glenny's Maple. I've returned after rescuing our people from the humans. I need to speak with the elder." The gates open, and she tells Ark to wait while she gets permission for him to come inside. While he waits, Ark starts goofing around with Pambo, playing with his sword, even though the sun's gone cloudy. Eventually, Pambo falls asleep. Finally, Ariane returns and says, "Come on in." Ark steps inside and is completely blown away by the scenery. They meet under a massive tree, where the village elder thanks Ark for saving their people. Turns out, that woman next to him is Ariane's mother. Ark introduces himself, saying he's just a traveling mercenary. The elder smiles and says, "I see. I understand everything now." Then the mom says something wild. "By the way, I'm 180 years old." Ark is stunned, but Ariane quickly calls her out. "Liar, you're 25. Ark's brain short circuits. Elves really do age differently. The elder thanks Ark again and asks why Ariane was even at the bar in the first place. She explains she was tracking the people who kidnapped the elves. The elder says, "We made a treaty with the humans not to attack them." Ariane starts to respond, but Ark stops her. "Please, let me explain." And then they start telling the elder the whole story from the very beginning. The elder agrees to Ark's story, but says he still needs to talk with the council to decide what happens next. Ariane tells him she'll go with him, and he's cool with that. Right then, food arrives, but Ark isn't sure whether he should take his helmet off or not. Ariane encourages him to relax. "Come on, don't worry." And before she even finishes, the elder jumps in. "I've heard of you. There's nothing to worry about. Go ahead and eat." Ark hesitates for a second, but eventually takes off his helmet and starts eating. The next morning, Ark wakes up and heads downstairs. He asks if the others already left. Ariane tells him to wait. She'll get him breakfast. Meanwhile, someone shows up and says, "Hey, I'll teleport you where you need to go." They stop at this big glowing tree. The guy places his hand on a crystal, a magic spell activates, and boom, they're at the elder's meeting spot. The High Elder greets them, already aware of the situation. "You came to report the kidnapping of elves by humans, didn't you?" Ark confirms, and they begin discussing it. Meanwhile, Ark is walking around the elven city, and this older woman sprinkles some water on him. It's a blessing ritual or something. He thanks her, but she tells him not to. "You saved my daughter. I should be the one thanking you." Ark notices the village is filled with elves, especially kids. He says, "No wonder humans keep kidnapping them. They know elves are rare and valuable." Sadly, most elves still don't trust Ark because he's human. Just then, one of the young elves he rescued shows up. She's beaming and tells him she's doing much better now, thanks to him. Back with the elders, they're worried. It's been 400 years since our peace treaty with humans, and now they're breaking it. Some of them are ready for war. Others say, "We don't know humans any explanation. If we hadn't saved those kids, they'd still be slaves. We were right to act." They all agree that if word gets out, it could trigger an all-out war. And even if humans are the ones who broke the treaty, they need to be careful. There are hotheads on both sides. Back to Ark. He's suiting up for something. He looks at Ariane's mom and says, "So, you want to fight me?" She nods. "Exactly. I need to test you. I'm the one who taught Ariane how to fight. If I'm going to trust you with her, I need to see what you're capable of." She charges him fast. Ark manages to block the first hit, but she reappears behind him and slams him into the ground. "You were too slow. The moment you sense danger, you've got to dodge. React faster." Clearly, this is serious training. Ark picks himself up, determined to learn. "This might be my only chance to improve." She launches at him again, and yeah, she beats him down hard. Cut to Ariane and her dad. She apologizes for acting on her own, but he's not mad. "You were just trying to protect our people. I'm proud of you. And keep working with Arkansas. He'll be a great help." He also tells her, "You should visit your sister, Ivan. She's here in the village." Ariane's surprised. Wait, she's getting married next year? A second later, Ivan shows up, dramatic as ever, and throws herself into Ariane's arms like, "Oh, so now you care enough to visit me? You didn't come to see your favorite sister? Do you hate me or what?" They tease each other, and Ivan says, "You've gotten stronger." "Huh? Must be all that fighting with humans." Ariane brushes it off. "I've still got a long way to go. Ivan asks, so, you're really gonna get married? Ariane's like, are you jealous or just being nosy? I think you've got feelings for someone, Ivan says with a grin. If you're gonna fall in love, at least make sure he's strong enough to handle you. Back to Ark. He's still training and getting absolutely destroyed. Just when he thinks he can breathe, she knocks him down again. All right, that's enough, she says with a smile. Any more and you'd be dead. Now come on, let's eat. Later, Ark decides to take a bath. And honestly, no idea how that works when you're literally a skeleton. But he's loving it. There's nothing better than soaking these bones, he says. Feels like a corpse taking a spa day. That evening, the elder calls him in. Ark, we want to hire you to continue helping Ariane. Ark says, I'd love to help, but I don't need money. The elder responds, then how about something better information? Info that might help break the curse that turned you into this, skeleton. They explain that there's a powerful artifact called the Hot Spring of Spirits, located in the royal capital's crown tower. Legend says it can break any curse, but it's haunted, seriously haunted, and it's dangerous, especially for humans. Dark spirits live there, but elves can enter with permission. Ariane chimes in, don't worry, I'll go with you. No one will hurt you while I'm there. Ark is overjoyed. Finally, there might be a way to become human again. He thanks them sincerely. Dinner's served, and after he eats, he heads to bed. Still, he's full of questions. Was this really a curse? Or maybe some kind of accident? He thinks about the magic collars that were draining mana from the kids. If I could remove those, maybe I can fix myself too. So he decides to test it. He casts a spell on his hand, and for a second, it turns back to human. He screams in excitement, but just as quickly, his hand reverts back to bone. He tries again and again, over 100 times. Same result. It works, but doesn't last. The next day, Ark and Ariane set out for the capital of the Rodent Kingdom. He's hopeful. If I broke the curse once, even for a second, I must be close. Ariane checks on him. You okay? He tells her not to worry. She's confident too. We're almost out of the forest. But then bad news. They run into some giant bugs. And let me tell you, these things are disgusting. Ark straight up freezes. You're scared of bugs? Ariane teases. Come on, man. You're literally a skeleton. Get it together. They head into a tavern, and Ariane asks if he's hungry. He's like, no thanks. She ignores that and says, normally people take a carriage to get to the capital, but your whole undead vibe? Kinda hard to hide. We'll have to walk through the forest instead. Ark agrees, but then an old woman nearby overhears and warns them. Don't go into that forest. Something's wrong with it. There are haunted ruins inside. 10 men went in recently and came back as skeletons. I'm begging you, stay away from that place. Ark tells Rima not to worry. He's like, as long as we're together, no one can stop us. She agrees, and they decide to head into the forest tomorrow. Meanwhile, over in the royal capital, Princess Tai has already boarded her carriage, determined to visit the elf city herself. She insists on arriving with grace and dignity, totally unaware that someone is secretly watching her every move. Back in the forest, Ark and Rima are pushing forward. She's wondering where those flesh-eating flies are. Real comforting thought. But before they can get too far, something weird happens. Ark senses it first. Suddenly, a beast jumps out at them. Ark manages to fend it off, but then 3 more appear. Rima steps in and handles the rest like a pro. One of the beasts tries biting Ark, but it's useless. His armor's too strong. He realizes these are ghost wolves, monsters that attack without thinking, and they even create fake clones to confuse their targets. Rima unleashes an Earth-style attack and just wrecks them, but Ark notices something strange. One of the wolves has a collar on its leg. He teleports behind it, dodging its fire attack, and shatters the collar. Just like that, the wolf calms down and runs away. Rima rushes over, sees the collar, and realizes it's the same one Ark saw on a wolf he fought before. They're both puzzled. Is someone controlling these creatures? She asks if she can go check on something, maybe see her sister, and Ark says sure, go ahead, I've got this. Meanwhile, Princess Tai is deep in thought. Her maid asks why she's so tense, and Tai admits she's worried. Her father ordered her to go to the Great Forest herself, and she doesn't know why. Something about her second brother has her uneasy. He's too quiet, while the first prince clearly wants the throne. She just hopes nothing bad happens. Spoiler alert, something bad happens. Back in the forest, Ark and Rima are training. Ark admits he's useless without real combat skills. He decides that as soon as they're done, he's asking Rima's mom to train him properly. As if on cue, the forest goes quiet, and Ark senses something off. Meanwhile, Tai's carriage gets ambushed. Her maid opens the door, and bam, a mysterious man slaughters her on the spot. Tai tries to fight back, but he stabs her too. They're left bleeding out. Turns out this was an assassination ordered by the first prince. But before they can finish the job, Bubu the spirit beast shows up. One of the attackers grabs him and threatens to kill him, until Ark swoops in, grabs the guy by the arm, and knocks him him out cold. He rushes to Tai and tries to heal her, but it's not looking good. He thinks, if this were a game, I'd just press a button to heal everyone. Still, he gives it his all. Suddenly, the spirit wolf returns and helps. Ark takes out the rest of the attackers. Tai is barely alive, but Ark manages to seal her wounds. He even heals her maid and the rest of the guards. When they wake up, they're all in shock. Tai is unharmed, and they're alive. She rallies them and says, let's finish our mission and move forward. Watching from the shadows, Ark is stunned. Wait, she's not just a noble, she's royalty. He regrets using his healing magic so openly. Later, Ark reunites with Rima, and they head to the capital. There, they bump into a familiar face, Shinobu, the ninja girl who once gave Ark key info back at the elf city. She's fiery, sharp, and doesn't hesitate to put people in their place. When Rima sees her, she's like, who's this? Shinobu explains everything. She's one of the 6 elite ninjas from the Shinshan clan, trained in secrecy. She's been traveling city to city, freeing kidnapped elves. She tells Ark, I need your help to save my comrades. Ark hesitates. He's already made a pact with Rima in the elf city. But Rima, seeing how determined Shinobu is, says, she's just like me, we're helping her. Meanwhile, back in the royal palace, the second prince hears that the cursed wolves in the forest aren't obeying orders anymore. He suspects someone broke the magic restraints. Worse, the freed elves might reach the capital soon, and chaos will erupt. He tells his servant to find him a safe house. It's clear this guy's been pulling strings from the beginning. Back with the crew, Ark learns more from Shinobu. She tells him her clan was founded by a legendary Japanese ninja who saved mistreated beast folk and gave them a home. Ark is absolutely geeking out. Wait, that ninja legend? From Earth? I'm so jealous. As they reach a cliff overlooking the capital, Shinobu points out a massive slave market below. That's our target, she says. We strike soon. So Shinobu continues, explaining their plan to attack the slave market. She warns that once they strike, reinforcements will arrive, possibly even the royal army. The key is for Ark and Rima to make a bold frontal assault to draw attention and let the rest escape. She tells them, you two are the bait. I'll catch anyone who tries to run. Ark is like, wait, so we're basically the distraction? And she's like, exactly. The kingdom's slave markets are huge, and I want to free as many friends as I can, no matter what. Ark appreciates her willingness to risk herself, but Shinobu says it's necessary, and she knows they're strong enough to back her up. Rima adds, don't worry, we'll use instant teleportation to get inside quickly. Ark is skeptical. Instant teleportation? Sounds like a myth, right? But Shinobu proves she's legit by using it herself. She explains it's a form of ninjutsu passed down from the great founder, allowing them to shorten distances instantly. The plan? Attack at night, so they can catch the guards off guard. Cut to Ark preparing. He's just chilling and eating some potatoes, enjoying the taste of home in this crazy world. Rima tells him, you better get moving. He says, not yet, I've got one more thing to do. He heads into the forest, disguising himself with a strange mask. Rima thinks, what the heck are you doing? But Ark insists, relax, this mask makes me look intimidating. Perfect for sneaking. Soon, he meets up with a mysterious figure, one of the 6 elite ninjas from their clan. Ark knows this name from a game he played back on Earth and gets pretty hyped. The ninja is a master of every ninja skill imaginable. The two greet each other, joking around a bit. It's like a friendly rivalry, pushing and shoving. But then the bell rings. They know it's go time. Shinobu reminds Ark and Rima to be the ones who lead the frontal attack. They agree and head to the royal gate. There, 2 guards stand watch. Ark and Rima walk up, telling them to stay put because they're about to regret standing in their way. The guards look like, we don't care, and then Ark just flexes his stone-hard muscles and smashes the gate wide open. The guards know trouble's coming and try to fight, but Ark's strength is overwhelming. Meanwhile, Rima and Shinobu slip inside the palace. Inside, guards panic. They know they're under attack. Rima and Shinobu fight fiercely, using magic and sword skills. Rima summons water wolves, striking fear into the enemies. Shinobu channels fire into her sword, knocking them down one by one. As they push forward, Shinobu removes her mask and reveals she's from the Jinshu clan, here to rescue the enslaved. The slaves don't believe anyone's coming to save them. They're shocked and overjoyed when Shinobu starts freeing them. Rima holds off the guards as the freed slaves rush out. Ark is causing chaos outside, destroying everything in his path. Shinobu warns him that the rear building is still locked, and they need to hurry before reinforcements arrive. Bam! Ark teleports inside, clearing the way and freeing all the prisoners. Rima thinks, looks like this is the second slave market. They freed that one too. But then Shinobu goes to check the last building and discovers something horrifying. They don't sell sick or injured slaves here. They keep them. She's devastated, apologizing apologizing to the prisoners for not protecting them sooner. Ark says, "No time for tears. We have to get them out now." They fight their way out as guards launch a counterattack, but Ark's magic and strength are unstoppable. Cut back to the royal palace. The second prince is furious because the royal army hasn't responded yet. His servant tells him the soldiers are delayed, and the prince insists on checking things himself. But before he can, the first prince's plan unfolds. The second prince suddenly collapses, poisoned or cursed, as the first prince's servants reveal the kingdom is under attack by elves and half-humans. They've lost wolves and men fighting against this powerful knight, Ark. The first prince declares, "We must end him." He orders the second prince's death, saying, "I am the rightful heir to the throne." Back with the rescuers, Shinobu says she's already escorted the freed slaves to their village. Ark and the ninja are playfully shoving each other, their powers evenly matched. Shinobu vows to get stronger so she can save more people. They keep sparring until the sun rises. So now we see the four of them on a boat. Shinobu's with them, thanking them, but saying there's no need for thanks. What really matters is the info she promised to share. Then they head over to the great kingdom of Limot. Shinobu arrives at the palace and rushes to her sister, hugging her tightly and crying. She says, "I'm so glad you're alive. I knew the first prince wanted you dead." Her sister tells her, "Actually, the first prince is behind all the chaos going on. The second prince was killed by the first prince, all just to grab the throne." Shinobu asks about a necklace, the same one she wears, and her sister warns her not to mention what happened in the forest. She's certain the first prince is listening. They all agree they have to stop him because if he inherits the throne, he'll ruin everything. Shinobu plans to talk to the elves and asks her sister for help and strength. Meanwhile, Ark and Rima call their bird messenger and share all the latest info. They talk about the names listed in the slave escape contract, the elves taken from the Sacred Empire, who are now oppressed. Ark says, "Let's fly over and start the attack on the Empire. Anyone who stands in our way, we crush." Cut to the palace guards preparing. The Emperor is informed by his spies that the first prince was killed by the second prince, and the princess has died too. But the Emperor knows the first prince planned this to frame the second prince and smoothly carry out his destructive scheme. Meanwhile, in the desert, monsters are fighting each other. Ark and Rima arrive, amazed by the giant wolf dragon there. Their father, they realize, is still alive. Ark and Rima are headed to the Empire to free the elves. Rima worries they might get stuck, but Ark reassures her and starts gathering magical power. The skies darken as he summons a strength, joyfully shouting, "Witness my power, creatures." They face many dangers but push forward. Later, at a tavern, a woman denies that Ark will use magic, saying her body is trembling already. He apologizes, didn't realize it would affect her so much. She switches the topic. Let's move on to the second phase. To get to the Empire, this is the shortest path. Ark notices she seems upset, and she admits she's nervous about going there, since the elves are imprisoned and it's a dangerous mission. They agree to go in disguise. Suddenly, a man named Mozek barges in, accusing them of being responsible for some terrible magic. There's some tension, but the woman shushes him and says to keep it down. Mozek reveals he's been living among humans for 10 years, even though he's a dark elf. He says he loves humans and hopes one day elves and humans will live together peacefully. Ark asks, "So you really believe humans and elves can coexist?" Mozek nods. Maybe humans won't like it, and vice versa, but the day will come. Meanwhile, in a cave, a sinister man talks about recent disasters in town. He mocks his subordinate, who tries to warn him about secrets that should remain hidden. The man shrugs it off and says he can do whatever he wants. Later, he captures the two girls who had accompanied Ark and throws them to the monsters in the desert to be eaten slowly. Back with Ark and Rima, they're nearing the Sacred Empire. Rima notices the guards seem extra vigilant. Ark agrees and tells her to be careful. They decide to meet after sunset and set off to explore and find the imprisoned elves. So, we see him sitting there eating bamboo, thinking about all the strange noises people have been hearing at night and how monsters are popping up everywhere. All this chaos is because of the Empire, and now the whole area is scared. It's not safe anymore. They have to rescue the elves as fast as possible. Sunset is here, so it's time to go find Rima. He's about to leave when he spots a guy trying to harass a woman, telling her to be very afraid and that he'll take her to his friends. Suddenly, Ark jumps out from behind and grabs the guy's arm, warning him to back off or he'll be killed. The guy's friends attack Ark, but he easily knocks all three of them down. The woman runs to him, thanking him for saving her. Rima shows up and finds Ark hugging the woman. She asks, "What are you doing?" Ark says those thugs were harassing her. Rima snaps at him. "You always have to stick your nose where it doesn't belong, don't you?" Then she tells the woman to go home. The woman says she should thank Ark before leaving. Rima and the woman leave, and Ark tries to talk to Rima, but she's too upset to respond. Cut to that that creepy guy we saw before. He's torturing girls and blaming his companions for not bringing enough food. Then he orders the wolf-like creature behind them to eat one of the captives without mercy. The monsters are ravenous. Back with Ark and his team, they learn the elves have been imprisoned for 4 months. Ark admits many might be dead, but they have to move quickly. They sneak into a fortress and find a secret door. As they go down, they smell the stench of monsters and notice 2 guards. They split up to attack, but struggle to open a locked door. One of them pushes it open. Inside, the smell of the imprisoned elves is horrible, decay and filth everywhere. Suddenly, a man appears, surprised to see them. He mocks their guards for failing and threatens to let his hungry dogs eat them. Then the shocking moment. Rima is attacked and taken over by this man's control. Ark shouts, "What did you do?" The man says, "Focus on the fight." She's fierce, as Rima immediately attacks Ark and pins him down. He's thrilled to discover she's a dark elf and tells her to finish him quickly. Ark desperately uses his magic to break the curse on Rima, but every time he tries, she snaps back under control and attacks again. He notices something strange in her body. He calls in Bumbo, who releases a small demon that's been living inside Rima, tricking her with illusions. Bumbo offers a small reward to Ark to help identify this demon quickly. Bumbo introduces himself as Kroko, a beast tamer who can control countless monsters. Ark looks at his wrist and sees the same mark that was on the monsters he killed before. Kroko reveals the truth. He was the one who enslaved the elves 4 months ago to run experiments on their magic energy. Ark is furious but cuts off the head of the monster with a single strike. He tells Kroko that since he arrived, he's been trying to keep things calm, but now Kroko has crossed the line. Kroko mocks Ark, calling him weak, and summons a massive horde of monsters. Ark says, "Your monsters might be many, but they're weak," and the fight begins. But little do they know, Ark is literally a dragon. Every time he kills a monster, more show up. Kroko summons even more, but Ark is relentless. Kroko taunts Ark, saying he's trapped now. Then a huge monster attacks, but suddenly Shinobu arrives with her army, saving the day and pushing back the monsters. Kroko realizes the army is here, and Ark is amazed to see Shinobu leading them. He asks her, "What are you doing here?" She says, "I'm not done yet." And then a button is pressed, an explosion. Ark laughs and says, "Now this is a party." He and Kroko start fighting fiercely. Meanwhile, we flash back to Kroko standing in front of his clan leader. He complains that he hasn't been given his rightful place as the strongest in the clan. The leader tells him he's weak and undisciplined and won't ever gain power until he learns to control himself. Even the king said the same when Kroko went to the Empire. But because Kroko is a beast tamer, the leader keeps him under control, saying, "Show me your strength," which Kroko struggles to do. Back in the real world, Ark says, "Yeah, this is real power. Nobody can stand against me. I'll eat you up until you're full, then take you to the kingdom." Then we cut to Ark, barely holding himself up with the shield he's got. He's looking around, asking, "Where's Rima? Where's Rima?" Next to him, he sees her completely exhausted, barely breathing. She tells him, "I wasn't asleep. I was just listening to you all moving around, but I couldn't move at all." Ark says, "Let's find him fast. I swear, I'll kill any human who tortures an elf. No mercy." Shinobu agrees. "You're right. He's controlling Hidairai now, and if that happens, things will get really dangerous for the people attacking us." Ark says, "Even if we move now, Hidairai's coming for us." She replies, "You're right. Hidairai is powerful. A disaster." Ark insists, No, neither Koro nor anyone else can stop me. I can fight Hidairai alone." They look at him shocked. "What? You think you can fight him alone?" Rima says, "Ark, take charge." Ark nods, "Of course, and the Emperor's on my side." His servant says, "Your plan is going perfectly. The city is being destroyed, all because of Kroko." The servant continues, "The rings controlling the monsters Kroko uses are finally complete. Controlling Hidairai is difficult, but eventually we'll have control." The Emperor says, "Everything is going exactly as I planned." Meanwhile, back in the town, people sense Terry is coming. The guards say, "We must defend the town at all costs." Suddenly, Hidairai appears and attacks. Ark uses his shield barely to protect himself. Hidairai tries to crush him, but Ark flies and counters with a powerful strike that knocks Hidairai down. Hidairai attacks with 3 powerful hits, but Ark dodges them all. Hidairai gathers his energy to finish Ark by destroying his head, but Ark uses his head as a shield and says, "This is what you brought on yourselves." He then uses a huge spell and cuts off all 3 heads, but then shockingly, they regenerate. Hidairai is a legendary monster. Of course, he regenerates. Ark uses a teleportation spell and says, "Since you keep regenerating, I'll stop you from doing that." He summons a huge monster to fight Hidairai, giving him himself only 5 minutes. The big monster isn't just a monster, it's a demon, the strongest world destroyer. At the same time, Rima and Shinobu are shocked, unable to believe what the monster is. Bumbo takes some of his stuff and leaves. They go to Kroko, who is about to attack, but she stands before him. He says, "What are you doing here? You came to serve me, right?" She replies, "No, I came to kill you. Don't choose for me, choose yourself." She explains that all the elves Kroko captured were powerful, but no one could break her strength. Kroko says, "You're strong, but I'm stronger." She recalls the village leader and the emperor's system. Kroko tries to hypnotize her, but she fights back. Rima says, "The mark I hit you with stopped your power." Kroko warns them, "Don't get too confident." Hidairai is about to lose control and destroy the entire town. He laughs darkly, but she says, "Forget that. Ark is here." She moves forward, fighting Hidairai, but he blocks her. He apologizes, "I'm sorry I killed all the elves standing against me. Forgive me, please." But she attacks him fiercely. Then Ark's summoned monster attacks Hidairai without mercy. Hidairai tries to escape, but Ark is right behind him, carrying him and throwing him around. The summoned monster unleashes a fiery legendary attack, basically turning him into sun-eating flesh. Ark says, "Don't worry, I finished him." The others agree it's over. Ark tells them not to worry about the monster. It's from another world and is leaving now. Then a messenger bird arrives with news, a report from the second princess about the elves. We cut to Tai, who is gathered with others. She says, "I'm sorry, but I'll do everything I can to bring back the elves." Ark says, "I accept your offer, but why are you still enslaving the elves?" She explains it's all because of the first prince. The emperor supports him. He even killed his brother with the emperor's backing. The eastern and western parts of the kingdom share the same history, where humans enslave all races. Ark says, "So you want me to help you take down the king?" She says, "Exactly. Then we can free the imprisoned elves." Ark agrees, no doubt about it. She says she allowed one of their humans to marry an elf ruler because she wants humans and elves to live together peacefully. Ark says, "I hope so too." Meanwhile, Rima looks upset. Someone asks, "Why are you so down?" She says, "I was stripped of my position. I'm useless now. I was just searching for my own race's freedom, hoping humans and elves could live together." He replies, "I hope so too. Since the first time I met you, the world has truly changed." Elsewhere, the first prince is frustrated because his sister is alive and successfully negotiating with the elves. He asks, "Who helped her?" Tai says, "You chose your own fate." Tai responds, "I'm dead, but I'm alive. I must tell you a secret. Who really protected me?" We then cut to the emperor. His servant tells him, "All of you are dead now." The emperor says, "Good, you were useless anyway. What about Hati? Is he dead too?" The servant says yes. The emperor says, "That proves my rings were failures. But I want to know who killed that great monster." Meanwhile, Ark, working as a mercenary, says, "Are you all convinced about this idea or not? I told you I finished my mission. Now I have to go take more jobs and not look for any attachments." At that moment, Shinobu gets scared, saying, "Who was that guy?" She says, "Don't worry. It's Ark, the undead." They ask, "What now?" She says, "First, we need to break the curse on you. Remember?" He says, "Right, you're right. The dragon spring. I'll come to your village." She says, "Great. Welcome." And with that, Ark's journey begins again.